When people ask the question what they really mean, just because being Asian American over time you kind of get that. They're asking like where are you from, like where are your parents from, and so it kind of implies the sense that you're not really American or you don't look American. The way I think of myself is like I don't think there's a way to really look American. Like being the white American is the standard for being an American, so that's how I feel myself.
People ask like what are you, and I obviously look American, and when I tell them that I'm also Viet, they'll tell me like, oh, you're a liar, and like you're not actually Viet, like speak it. I'll just say something and they're like, oh, like you are.
I never really like saw myself as white because I mean, if I look through a mirror, I see myself, but with everyone around me, everyone is Asian, and so being at a family like party with everyone there, I've always grew up around. Everyone's Asian. I never really saw myself as the other white or like a white person. So when my cousin's girlfriend came, it was like shocking to me because I've never seen another white person like in the family.
Growing up, I was ashamed, more so ashamed of being a dark Filipino, because in the Filipino culture, the lighter your skin, the wealthier you are, you're like royalty and stuff. And bleaching like products is really big because a lot of the time they want you to be lighter. So of course, me being like a darker Filipino, it like made me really ashamed, and I think that's also something that tied into me wanting to push far from my culture.
It was one of my biggest insecurities growing up, especially having like other cousins that were not as dark as me. So, I mean, like if I could tell my younger self one thing, I would tell her like, go outside and play, like go run in the sun, take your sweater off, it's 90 degrees outside, why are you wearing a sweater, you know? And I would tell tell my younger self that she's beautiful with her skin color, no matter what shade it is, no matter how darker she is, no matter how tan she'll get from being in the sun.
I've never really felt shame for my culture, my Asian culture, because I think I was too preoccupied being ashamed of my sexuality. I remember when I first came out to my mom when I was 16, she told me that I had the devils, the demons in my body, and we had to go to a fortune teller in China to get them out. And yeah, that really opened my eyes to the crazy stuff that's going on in the Asian community, like what they actually think of, you know, gay people. Like they don't really have an understanding of what gay people are. They just think it's like some like demonic plague has like taken over your little son's body.
My parents who, you know, kind of have like 4 kids to take care of at the same time, trying to find jobs, trying to learn a new language, trying to adjust to customs and cultures. And I know they're still regretful to this day of the fact that they couldn't be there for us as like parents, you know, should be.
Coming to the United States in the period of time, the month before 9/11, as an immigrant Muslim family, where you're, you know, like from my parents' point of view, you're raising 4 kids, and you don't know any of the language, you don't know the customs, the culture, you don't have a job. You have to kind of figure out what you're gonna do to survive at a basic level, but then from that, how do you navigate like the culture?
Problem that I dealt with is living up to expectations of being a smart Asian, and that was like one of my biggest insecurities growing up.
If you look in the grand scheme of things, like with how conservative these Asian cultures are, and like specifically my Asian culture with hyper masculinity and being, you know, strong all the time, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done by this generation for the future generations, and even, you know, our elders that are kind of stuck in this mindset, and it's something that we need to address moving forward.
A lot of the things that Asian Americans go through are overseen, like hypersexualization of women. You know, human trafficking is big in Asia, and it's very prevalent here too.
One of the top terms on Pornhub is Asian, and it just like makes me uncomfortable because it's just like everywhere you go, like you don't know like who does that, like that's like their term that they like coin or whatever. So like whenever I see people, they're just like always staring. It's just like you don't know. Like it makes me very uncomfortable because like you don't know what their intentions are, and like if they, how do you say this, like intend to like do anything like that towards you, like oppress you in such a way where, you know, like you can be sexually assaulted and whatnot, just from like, and people like having fetishes on Asians. It's weird. Like, why?
I don't think there's a way to quantify the amount of discrimination that Asian American gets.
Like, mental health is definitely an issue because Asian parents make you suppress your emotions so you can be able to succeed without this distraction, they call it.
In Japan, you don't talk about mental health, it's non-existent, and you go to a doctor and they'll just look at you sometimes and say, what's mental health? And so it's not that they're incompetent, it's just not discussed in society. And so I moved here last year, and whether it was the people I was surrounded with or just California in general, since everything's more open, there is a focus on mental health, and that was really surprising to me.
You just don't discuss it, and even on a military base, which is really surprising, and they do have like the facilities to like, if you need counseling, there's this and this resource. People don't take that resource because it's just not talked about.
I don't think there's enough representation among Asian Americans within the media itself. Not normal to see someone who's Asian. They're like, oh, like, where are you from? Or like, oh, we don't have that kind of food here. Or they don't have the things that you would usually get, since it's so normal in the Bay Area to be surrounded by such diverse people. So
In, like, movies and TV shows, there's like not that many like normal gay Asian people. They're always like really sassy or like the gay best friend person, and like why can't you just have like normal people? They're always like, I'm in computer science and we're gonna hack this bank together. Like, you're the hacker. Like, okay, why can't we be like the shooting people?
If you like this video,
Like and subscribe for more.